All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us here. This is the second half of the show, and I've just taken the baton from Mr. Tony St. James. Hopefully I can do as good of a job as he's done. Let's take a look and see if these markets are cooperating, and they were for the radio show, I would say, pretty much. Let's take a look and see where we stand right now, though. Corn is down now, penny and a quarter. That's decent. 4.25 is last, 3 cents from the high. Basically 3 cents from the low. We're right in the middle. It's 2 3/4 cents from the low, but I'm going to use my artistic rounding. So not a lot going on here. 4.25 and a quarter is last. We're a penny lower on the day. March is down 3/4 of a cent to 4.38 and a quarter, and that too is kind of in the middle of that small 5-cent range. There you go. That's corn. Let's go to the beans. This is soybeans. Well, we're higher here. We're going to go right to Jan, up 9 1/4 cents. 10.13 is last. We're about 5 3/4 cents off the high of the day, and 12.5 cents off the low. That sums up where we are in that range. 9 cents better in the March. 10.23 3/4 is last in March. All right. That's again about, well, call it 5 1/4 cents off the high of the day. Let's move on to the Chicago wheat market. Wheat in Chicago, 3 cents lower in that D's market. 5.70 1/4 is last. That's about 5 1/4 cents off the low of the day. And that's going to about 8 1/4 cents off the high, 9 1/4 cents off the high. So that'll give you an idea where we sit. We're lower, 2.5 cents lower in the March, 5.88 1/2 is last there. That's Chicago wheat. From Chicago, let's go to Kansas City. And we're also about 5 cents lower there across the board. 5 3/4 cents lower in the D's to 5.68 1/4. And the March hard red wheat in Kansas City, that's down a nickel to 5.80 3/4. All right, moving right along, he says, to the spring wheat in Minneapolis, 4 1/4 cents lower there. That's the spring wheat D's, 6.01 1/4 is last. I guess you could say that $6 handle is in a little bit of jeopardy there. We hadn't gotten through it. We're about, call that 3 1/4 cents off the low of the day of 5.98. March is down 5 1/4 cents to 6.22 1/4. And then finally, let's take a look at cotton. 136 points better. This one's bucking the trend for sure. 71.05 is last there, just 8 points off the high of the day. All right, let's get to our next guest analyst, Mr. Ryan Kelbrants. He's with CHS up in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Ryan, what's top of mind? What say you?
You know, we started out with the day 7:30 with corn export sales coming in a really good number, a little over 2.7 million metric tons. They're thinking 1.7 to 2.5. So that was a big number. That was up 18% over last week and 18% above the 4-week average. So Mexico was the biggest buyer there. Bean number, a little over 2 million metric tons. They're thinking 1.2 to 2.2. So down a little bit from last week, but 10% above the 4-week average. And China was the biggest buyer there. So meal 398.6. They were thinking 150 to 500, so within the range there. And kind of a ho-hum number on the wheat, 374.7. They're thinking 250 to 550. So that was about 10% below the previous week and 20% below the 4-week average. So, but then at 8 o'clock, we saw a nice another daily export sales announcement for some corn, 120,000 metric tons for delivery to unknown there. We got a big report coming out tomorrow. Trade doesn't anticipate shifting in the yields. The October number for corn was 183.8. The average guess is 183.7. And then on the bean side of things, they do lower it a little bit from 53.1 in October to 52.8. Ending stocks, just minor changes. The one biggest change is basically in the October bean number came in with the U.S. ending stocks at 550 million bushels. The average guess is 532, so a little bit lower there. And then the corn number went from October's 1.99 billion bushels to 1.94. So we're also had the drought monitor come out today. Winter wheat areas, they did drop 5% in drought from 62 to 57, and then with the report tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and then commitment traders after the close. Monday, we're going to see crop progress and condition. Last week, corn harvest was 91%, well ahead of average, and then the bean number was 94, so they should be wrapping up. There'll be some stragglers there. And then winter wheat emergence, I'm thinking we're going to probably see the good to excellent category improve just due to the needed rains we had seen, and then planting should make some good progress too. So kind of a choppy session. Dollars off a little bit here, about 634 ticks after yesterday's huge jump. We're trading at 104.4. Still above the pre-election numbers, but a little bit of a pop in beans, and then the corn and wheat are on negative territory. So nothing major happening today ahead of the report.
You're right. Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Once again, we're wishing our lives away for the next big data point, but I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much, Ryan. Ryan Kelbrants coming to us from
always a pleasure.
CHS up in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. All right, we're going to go away, catch our breath. That was a lot of data. We're going to come right back and talk more livestock with a guy wearing a livestock jacket right after this.